What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago doing his rock impression, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President of Mar-a-Lago, how are you today?
We're doing great. We're doing very strongly. We're just enjoying being president.
Yes, I'm sure. Very exciting Perfect 10 episode last week. A lot of drama. I'm looking forward to next month and what you decide.
And by the way, the Rotten Oranges episode was a star-studded affair.
We got lots of reviews in from that saying that was one of the best. People were saying one of the best
Tremendous,
rotten
tremendous. I
oranges.
mean, with for our Patreon patriots, we sort of add all this. I call in the favors. I bring in the top talent. It's like a "We Are the World," but with fewer blacks.
Is that is that how you describe it? Okay. Now I know you're having a good week, but I'm sorry to start the episodes on such a bad note, but there was a house torn down recently. Was a colleague of yours, a friend of yours. Sir Jeffrey Epstein's house was torn down. I'm sure so many memories were there that are just now in rubble. That's all you have is the memories because you can't go there, take a walk through, remember the good times.
Well, no, sometimes I can read through the testimony of some of his young women, and so you can, we have that in a vault. So sometimes I go in there with like a nice Diet Coke, maybe a chocolate chip cookie, and I read through the testimony, and it brings a tear to my eye. I go, I remember that. Wow, it's so so it's nice. It's been nice of the Florida courts to preserve so many of our great moments.
I did not know that you had saved testimony in a safe deposit box that you would read through at leisure. That's interesting. Do you know what they're doing with that space? That because you are
Well, it's I mean
a real estate mogul.
it's holy ground. And if you've ever read, I don't read books, but if I know these Stephen King books, wouldn't that make for a great movie? Epstein's grounds or Sir Jeffrey's plot, and they try to build like a shopping mall there, but mysteriously eighth grade girls start disappearing.
It's like the creepy pet cemetery.
Jeff Cemetery, boom, title it. I'm going. We're done with the episode. That's it.
That's that's great. That would be a really solid movie. That Sir Jeffrey Epstein's house gets knocked down, and every time they try to rebuild on it, some sketchy stuff happens with, you know, um, girls appearing here, or what's her name, Giselle. What's his main squeeze?
Ghislaine,
Ghislaine. She makes appearances. It could be a blockbuster film. I mean, I know you're real estate and many other companies, but maybe you could make the jump from TV to movies.
I think when we start our Trump production company, I think our first feature film will be Jeff Cemetery. And, a real estate developer tries to build a shopping mall, but all of a sudden, uh, you know, Girl Scouts and high school cheerleaders start disappearing. And I think it would be a very powerful film, very entertaining.
They just get sucked through the earth.
Or they do the sucking. It's the point is, I think we should talk to some of our great horror writers, maybe Blumhouse. They do a lot of these horror films.
Hmm.
I think it's a tremendous Jeff Cemetery coming to theaters and after school programs this summer.
So you're gonna make it into a play also? Make it into a play for the kids. The kids can perform it.
Well, they'll be performing something.
No. Um,
But the fact that they tore this down is they deserve the wrath of Sir Jeffrey Epstein from heaven, because You don't tear down a landmark. This is a Florida landmark, and they tore it down.
Do you know the person who owns it now?
I don't, but they'll be, they'll be hearing from some powerful people.
Why don't you buy it? You have so much money.
I think that's, you know what? We might have to look into that.
Okay, that would be great. Now, Mr. President, did you hear about the news from Homeland Security? They're doing
Homo security? What
no
is
home
that like a
home
gay sort of security company?
no Homeland Security. They protect our country, and
Well,
they're
they did. They did when we had a real president. I don't know if they're doing strong security right now.
well, they're doing an internal review to root out white supremacy and extremist ideology in the federal government. And the domestic terrorism unit of Homeland Security is looking into this. Do you think that is a coincidence after you leave the presidency in Washington that they're looking into this? Since you have been, I'm not going to say attached, but mentioned with white supremacy groups and the KKK?
Well, I think this is a classic Democrat technique. Look into something that doesn't exist, invent a problem so it looks like you're doing work.
But there is a problem. The Pentagon did a recent investigation, and they found that a lot of vets were connected with white supremacy groups and who were also at the storming of the Capitol.
Well,
I meant the protest of the Capitol. I'm sorry.
the peaceful protest. You say
Yes.
Pentagon, and I say Janie's got a gun. So now we've got two problems, apparently.
Um, but you don't think that's strange that people have accused you of being in the pockets of the KKK and different hate groups, and you've denied it, and now they're doing an investigation in the federal government after you leave the White House?
The only time I was in the pockets of the KKK were when I was at the Teen USA Championship and I was talking to Kate, Chrissy, and Kendall. And I may have had my hands in some pockets then, but no, no, I don't know any KKK.
Okay, so you just think it's a coincidence, and they're just doing
No, no, I don't
a
think it's a
routine.
coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Oh, okay.
I think the radical left is always wants to make things into race and into, oh, we have problems with this because they know it's good for ratings and they know people will get very upset and the fake news will start talking about it, but it's a total hoax.
But wouldn't it make sense to look into this, considering that they found veterans who served for our country to be affiliated with hate groups, white supremacy hate groups, especially wouldn't and they were at the peaceful protest of the Capitol. So wouldn't you want to look into this? They were affiliated, and they were there for you.
Well, they were there for me because they love their country. The thing I would say is, do you realize how offensive what you just said is? You're insulting our veterans.
And I'm not. I'm saying the
No,
veterans. I'm not
excuse
saying
me.
all of them.
Excuse me. You're insulting our veterans.
How am I insulting veterans when I said
You're
some of the
calling them hate groups and they're
No, I'm
veterans.
not.
They love their country. It's the opposite of hate. It's called love group.
That'd be a good title too. The thing is that
Jeff Cemetery.
I know. The thing is, I'm not calling all veterans hate groups. What I'm saying is that the veterans who were caught being at the peaceful
You say
protest.
that word very interestingly.
What?
Veterans.
How do you want me to say it?
You see, this is why you're disrespecting our veterans. There's an extra syllable in there, and you're trying to shorten the word.
Veterans.
Thank you.
Okay.
Put some respect on their name.
Okay. What I'm saying is that the veterans who were there were affiliated
My
with.
large wallet is causing me discomfort in my pocket because I have
Well,
great wealth.
take it out. um, What I'm saying is the veterans who were there are affiliated with
You
hate
ever give
groups.
yourself a prostate exam when trying to take out your wallet? It's kind of exciting.
I never have. Thank God. But don't you think they should look into that if the people there supporting you were affiliated with hate groups?
No, of course. I mean, you could
It
say
would
that
make
about
sense.
but you could say that about anybody. I could say, at Sleepy Joe's inauguration, there was uh, a child rape group, and then you say,
Find the
well,
child rape.
we better look.
Find the
We better
child rape
Q,
group.
Q. By the way, Q.
Where was
Uh,
the child rape group? If you find them, we should look into it.
we should, and we're gonna now. I agree. So it's out there now, and we're gonna look into it.
But you're
There
making
was
that
a
up.
child. There was a child rape group at Sleepy Joe's inauguration. Now we're gonna look into it. See how easy that was?
You're just making up the child rape. You just made that up off the top of your head.
No, we're getting very strong updates from Q. By the way, did you
Yes.
see Tyler Perry on the Oscars last night? He said that he's fighting, he said he's fighting child trafficking, which we support. We support him fighting it.
Okay.
And you know how many letters there are in Tyler Perry Studios?
How many?
17. Do you know what the 17th letter of the alphabet is?
Not top of my head. What is it?
Q.
Q.
Tyler Perry is Q. And I've always thought, I looked at him and I said, that guy is definitely LGBTQ. And as it turns out, he's sending all the hints that he is a powerful Q. He is Q as folk.
That's a huge conspiracy theory right there.
Well, he's a large black, so it shouldn't surprise you that it's nobody ever thought that Q could be African American, but it turns out African with a Q, African.
So many good titles. Um, but Jeff
Titled
Cemetery it
Jay
is.
Z and Beyonce.
Um, I don't believe your little Tyler Perry conspiracy theory, but you know what? I could be wrong. You could be right. Who knows, right? Maybe there weren't any. Maybe there were child rape organizations at Sleepy Joe's inauguration. I have no clue. We should all look into all of this.
That's all I'm saying. We'll look into everything, starting with Sleepy Joe.
That makes sense. Um, the census, Mr. President. Have you seen the census
I
and
like
who?
all 5 of them. Did you ever see the Sixth Census?
It's a pretty solid movie.
I, I see dead people and I'm counting them. The Sixth Census.
And we're making great movies tonight. The
Well,
Sixth
yeah,
Census,
okay.
Jeff Cemetery. You should open that your
The Trump Studios is going to open, and all I'm doing is this isn't like the boring Oscars. Every movie I've just mentioned is a hit. It's like a blockbuster.
but what do you think of the seats picked up and lost? Like Texas picked up 2 seats, California lost one, Florida gained one, New York lost one by 89 people. By 89 people they lost a seat.
I wished it was 69 people.
We could all dream.
Well, no, what you're seeing is tech stuff. I know you're radical left, but what you're seeing is, oh, we want to go to great Trump states, great freedom states, great freedom. Do you see that? They're losing people in the radical left, tax you to death states, and they're coming to places like Texas and Florida where they can have sunshine and guns and, you know, marry their cousins and do country dancing and bath salts, and it's called freedom.
I mean, many people left New York during the pandemic. Some people left for good. Some people came back. You can't blame people for leaving, especially money if they didn't have jobs. New York's very expensive to live in, but not everybody fills out their census. And we're talking 89 people. I'm sure they could have found 89 people to fill out census. And I
Andrew
mean,
Cuomo probably murdered them all.
there's a good chance of that. How come all his allegations have disappeared? Did he get your lawyers?
Well, no, I think what he did was, and if to those people who listen to Rotten Oranges, he was one of the guests, by the way, on the
Oh,
Rotten Oranges Oscar special because I said I don't like him, but I respect him. I respect how he's tackling this by not giving up. The Democrats need more tough people like that, even if I disagree with them. Uh, I don't know where his allegations went. Maybe some of those allegations were fake news.
Didn't you? How many allegations you had? 18 or 19 against you,
I had
or more than
26
26? How did 26 disappear?
because 7, 8, 9.
I like the kid jokes. That's amazing how many allegations disappeared. How much money did you lose on that, paying these women off?
Oh, it was a rounding error. Not a lot.
How many? How much?
A few million.
Okay. I mean that's wild. And I guess Cuomo's taking a page out of your playbook.
And we're going to sue him for copyright infringement.
Copyright infringement for dealing with sexual harassment allegations.
Well, he took a page out of my playbook, and you're supposed to pay for that.
I don't know if it goes like that. It means just he's kind of dealing with it the same way you are. I don't think you have a copyright on how to deal with.
No, no, I have a book in Mar-a-Lago called "How to Get Slutty Skanks to Stop Suing You."
Oh, so you have a book on that, and you think he read your book?
All I'm saying, you excuse me, you said he took a page out of my book.
I did, but I don't think you can sue someone for that. He's just
Oh,
copying your behavior.
we'll see what happens.
I wouldn't put it against you. I could see you totally taking him to court for dealing with sexual harassment allegations like you did. I want to hear that testimony.
I promise to tell the truth, so help me Trump.
You're gonna swear on yourself.
Hey, bingo.
So you're higher than God.
No, no, I think we're sort of, we have our different areas of sort of talent. Some might say I have a little more talent, but no, no, we have great respect for God.
You've said that you do things a lot better than Jesus, a lot of things, but you haven't said that you've done a lot of things better than God.
Look, God is like Michael Jordan, and I'm like a white Tiger Woods. We're both great. We're both considered all-time greats in what we do, but you can't exactly compare them. So I'm doing strong golf type things, and God is doing strong Michael Jordan type things.
Okay, that makes sense. So both of you are extremely strong, very strong.
I'm very strong. God is probably just strong.
Understood. Now, you mentioned the Oscars before, Mr. President. I didn't even watch them last night. I thought the films that were up for the Oscar were kind of boring and pretty artsy. Um, Nothing really exciting. And I just kept seeing tweets of people saying how boring the Oscars were and people complaining about it. So I wasn't even to tune in. Did you actually watch the Oscars last night?
I caught, how I like to flip channels,
Yes.
so I like to focus on more important things. So I caught, I don't know, maybe maybe I caught 3 hours of the show
What was it, three
at
hours and 10
most.
minutes?
At
Okay.
most. I don't think I caught any more than that.
Okay.
But no, it was tremendous. What I saw was tremendously boring. Uh, it was classic Hollywood movies nobody cares about, giving speeches about things that real Americans don't care about. So it was perfect. I held a real Oscars party. We had a real Oscars ceremony at Mar-a-Lago.
What was going on there?
Well, we had great conservative movie stars, and we awarded their work. Uh, you know, Kirk Cameron got the Lifetime Achievement Award
Okay.
for his
That's
great
well
Christian
deserved.
films. John Voight was there. He got He won Best Actor in a Trump praising video.
Okay, that's a nice award. Who else was there for the award ceremony? Was
Best
Stacey Dash there?
no,
No,
Best Actress went to Ivanka Trump
of course.
for pretending to be in love with Jared Kushner when she really wants a stronger, older, more handsome blonde man.
Okay, that's weird, but all right. Um, what was the highlight for you? You said you caught a little of the Oscars. Can you tell us maybe a highlight and a low light of the evenings for the Oscars?
When the radical left wanted that African American to win Best Actor at the end of the show, and then they gave it to Hannibal Lecter, and I paused my TV and took a nice screenshot and posted it to Parlor. Uh, I just thought, look at the radical left. Oh, we're gonna give it to what's his name, Chester Baldwin, and
That's it's Chadwick Boseman, but
him too.
okay.
But then they said the winner is Hannibal Lecter, and he wasn't even there. He didn't even show up. And I have great respect for Hannibal Lecter. You know, he's a talented he's a doctor, by the way.
He is just like you.
Talented guy, and then he didn't even show up. He made radical left Hollywood look so stupid.
And what was the low light of the evening?
The 3 hours where people thought that Chandler Bezos was going to win Best Actor. They kept, oh, he's going to win, and then so I had to endure that. But it was all worth it to see Hannibal Lecter get the Oscar.
Um, yes, like I said before, I did
And
not.
and by the way, they gave Best Director to somebody from China. So, you know, I don't like that she came in and directed because you don't know who to root for. She
It
was
was a woman
directed.
too, right? Woman director.
Yeah, well, they're all the same in China to me. But
All
the
the men and women just look the same to you.
and stop Asian hate. We're gonna be nice. But the point is, I don't know who to root for in Nomadland because the one half it's very anti-Amazon, which I like, but then it's also pro-China because it's a Chinese director person. Or
Hmm.
when it's a woman, you call them a lady director. It was a lady director,
I think it's just director.
like with an e at the end, so you know it's the feminine.
No, just
Direct at.
they're just directors. Directors. That's it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think you have to have an erection to be giving direction. You can't spell direction without an erection. So we're just going to call them lady directors. So you know that it's
Lady
not a man.
directions. No.
Oh, no, but you know what? If I see a lady director coming to me, I say, don't use my bathroom.
That's the direction you give her.
I say, this is Trump country. We use, what is your birth filmmaking status?
Country. Oh gosh.
Because if you have a lady direction, then, I don't want you going in the bathroom with Ivanka.
Of course not. Now, Mr. President, when you were campaigning, Arizona, I think was one of your biggest and one of your first biggest rallies during COVID, if I remember correctly. Is that when you went with Kimberly Gargoyle down there to Arizona, if I can remember correctly? And I think that is when Ben Carson got sick. Is that
Uh, well, no, that was Tulsa. Wasn't that
Tulsa?
Tulsa?
Well, it could
No,
have been.
I remember going to Arizona with Kim Gargoyle, and I gave her what we call an Arizona facial, and she said, "Oh, it's so muggy," and I said, "But it's a dry cum because we were in Arizona."
It's a
So,
desert. Um, now, the Arizona Republicans really, really love you. Do you know they're still recounting the vote? They're
I
still
mean, they're stupid people. They count very slowly in Arizona. Arizona is where you send all the hot people who've been hit with lead pipes in the head in Florida. When Florida is like, you're too stupid for Florida, they ship them out to Arizona. So that's why it's very hot people and they're very attractive and they're very stupid. So they can't, I think we should be sort of, the left would say, oh, we must support Arizona. They're trying so hard. How dare you? That's, yeah, the representation. We need stupid people who can't count because we support all people. But when it's a Republican state, they say, oh, no, they're taking too long. I think the left is very hateful.
All right. I mean, I just think shouldn't you tell them just to give up and stop counting, or you're enjoying it?
What's that? Give up on freedom?
It's not really give up on freedom. We have a president in the White House
A
now,
fake, a
but
fake president who's trespassing.
the Supreme Court has closed all the cases.
Right. And Sidney Powell is arguing at a food court.
Loves those food courts.
She makes a strong case.
Sparrow or panda?
It's called Cinnabon. Don't you know your food court law?
I didn't know they do it at Cinnabon. I thought it was done at Sparrow.
No, okay. Let me explain the food court
Please tell me
legal
food
process
court
since
law.
you don't know.
Yes.
When you go in, you go to the food court and you make your case at the lowest level is the Subway sandwich artist. Because they, as you know, they're very stingy. You go, they're like, let me get some extra tomatoes. And they look at you and they put the one tomato next to each other. They don't let you pile up the tomatoes. They give you, oh, you get 3 tomatoes, no more. So they're very conservative. So if you win at the Subway level, you've got a strong case because they're very conservative, the Subway sandwich artists. Then, okay, you listening?
I'm listening.
Then you go to Taco Bell, where they have the burrito supremes, and they hear your case. Okay.
Okay.
If you make it past then you go to Cinnabon. And then at Cinnabon, they make the final determination. So we've made it up to Cinnabon and we've won at the lower level. So Sidney Powell right now, she she's put on a little weight because while she's been waiting there for like, I don't know, 2 months, she's just been doing nothing but eating Cinnabons.
Well, I wish her all the luck in the world.
I don't think she needs luck. I think we have an incredibly strong case. And when the Cinnabon judge rules against Sleepy Joe, we're going to go in there with a lot of frosting and we're going to smother him in Cinnabon frosting and we're going to take back the White House.
Okay.
And then Mike Pence is probably going to come running in and licking up all the frosting. No, Mike, it's sugar, not what you thought.
I said frosting, Mike. I want to wish you congratulations that your portrait is going to debut in the National Portrait Gallery's presidential exhibition. It's going to be reopening next month. Will you be going to check out your portrait live in person?
I will.
Okay. Will you make an event out of it, or you're just going to kind of make an appearance unannounced?
I think what we're going to do is I'm going to have a group of people steal the portrait and bring it down to Mar-a-Lago, and then we're going to have a big party.
I don't think that's allowed. It's the portrait stays there. All presidents.
Excuse me.
Portraits.
Are you a president?
No, I'm not a
Okay,
president.
well then I'm not going to listen to what you say is allowed. I'll allow it.
You can't. The portraits stay there. All the presidential portraits are there. That you can't like rent it or take it. It's not like the Stanley Cup where you can take it on tour and then bring it back.
Okay, tech stuff. We'll see. And then when I'm sitting here next week with it in Mar-a-Lago, we'll see.
That'd be awesome. The portrait was right behind you on the wall. Okay. We have one more piece of news, Mr. President, and we talked about this before. Your former Vice President Pence, he signed a huge book deal worth 2 books with Simon and Schuster for 7 figures, and there are 2 books. We don't know what the books are.
Oh, figures.
Figures, yes, 7 figures, yes,
with an F.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think I said?
Well, if you'd seen some of the websites that Mike Pence goes on, you'd be like, that sounds about right. That sounds about what he'd agree to for a book.
Okay. He hasn't really released any information on these books, but Simon and Schuster employees are very angry and they're kind of protesting to drop the Pence book deal. They want them to drop the book deal and revoke it.
Well, they probably should. Who would? Why would you want to produce a book by a January 6th traitor?
They also want to drop any book deal who has an affiliation with you.
Well, that's disgraceful far left cancel culture.
But we just talked about canceling Mike Pence, and you were fine with it.
Well, no, that's what he did was called treason. We actually do cancel treason tech stuff. Okay, we don't. We tend to not like treason here, but canceling other people who are not traitors is radical left cancel culture. And I don't think he should go. I don't think our people should go to Simon and Schuster. I think they should go to Alvin, Simon, and Theodore Publishing.
Is Big Huck Simon and Schuster, or is she Harper Collins?
Big Huck is a legend, and you will call her Miss Sanders.
Miss Sanders, do you know where she signed?
We should maybe have her back. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly where she signed, but obviously it was somebody who's patriotic and respectful and loves great books and great people.
Yes, doesn't say. I don't think it's with Simon and Schuster, which is lucky for her. So, would you now, after hearing that, you would not even entertain doing a book with Simon and Schuster after you heard that news?
I would not ever work with Simon and Schuster unless they offered me $80 million.
So it's okay that if they kick Pence out and
Like, he's a traitor.
right, they said all these things, but if they offer you $80 million to write your book,
Million.
80 million to write your book, then everything is fine. Water under the bridge.
Bridge over troubled water.
Solid song. But what I'm
What?
asking,
It's a song.
it is by Simon and Garfunkel. It's a song.
Well, maybe they should sign with Simon and Schuster.
Simon and Garfunkel, but they're singers. They don't write books.
Well, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Maybe you can go with them. They do sing. So Simon and Schuster is on your Schuster list.
I was hoping you'd say that tech stuff. I was hoping you'd say that. Point for tech stuff guy. He's now at -9 for the episode. They're on my Schust list.
Just off news. You are a born New Yorker. You did attend many Knicks games. Do you see the Knicks? They're on a big run right now, fourth in the Eastern Conference. Have you been watching them at all? You've attended games before many times.
Yes, but this team, there's something. There's just something. I remember David Lee. I was a big fan of David Lee when he played for the Knicks. Ron Baker. They had a nice guy named Ron Baker more recently. Uh, Not so sure I like the makeup of this team though. Although I like their coach.
You basically only mentioned white guys just now.
Oh, are those white? Are those white guys?
Those are all white guys.
Well, they stand out. You sort of see them. You go, it's why did the white macadamia chip get lost in the double chocolate chip batter?
You think the white guys stick out on the basketball court?
Do you not think they do?
I mean, if you're watching a basketball game, they don't they stick out maybe because they're sitting on the bench, but you're not watching the bench, you're watching the court.
Interesting. I'll let Slovenian superstar Luka Doncic know that you think he's a bench warmer.
I'm talking about the Knicks.
Well, I like to call them knickerbockers.
Do you call them Knickerbockers with a hard K?
Soft K, hard R.
Where does the N fit in?
Oh,
The N, it's KN. And then at the end, there's an R. Where does the N fit in Knickerbockers? So it's
Well,
a soft K.
it's a silent N, which is what I call Ben Carson.
Silent N. Okay. Let's leave Ben Carson alone. We always beat up on Ben Carson here.
It's kind of fun though, don't you think? He's just sort of a quiet doctor, like never opens his eyes, mumbles, and then you just kick him in the nuts.
Well, Mr. President, sir, thank you so much for spending another week with us. Thank you to betonline.ag for sponsoring us once again this week. Thank you to all the listeners out there. We appreciate you guys, all the Patreon patriots. If you're not a Patreon patriot, so much good content is up there. Please check it out. Patreon.com/MPGA. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're a few subscribers away for paid content there through YouTube. It's free. All you got to do is just click subscribe on there and check out the website mpgapod.com. Also, if you are in New York, in Astoria, Queens this Saturday, check out the Bel Air Diner. We got an awesome show at 8 p.m. It's $5 outside. It's safe, COVID safe. We got Richie Redding, Carmen Lynch, Caitlin Palufo, Derek Gaines, all headliners on the show. It's a great one. So check that out. It's Bel Air Diner in Astoria, Queens. Mr. President, any parting words?
Yes, for those perfect 10 Patriots, they will get a special video on Wednesday morning. Very special video. And hey guys, it's JL. Just a couple, my usual announcements, but check out Righteous PK podcast this week. It's up already. Even if you're a Patreon person listening to this tonight, it's up. Really good episode with some stuff about upcoming shows. But if you, for some reason, decide not to listen, go to Cauvin, jlcomedy.com/calendar, and tickets to all my live shows so far are up, and I'm adding some gigs soon. But DC area, Rockville, Maryland is almost sold out. In Arlington, Virginia, get those tickets now. And Hartford Funny Bone, June 10th. Huge show for me. If you are anywhere near Hartford, Connecticut, got to get tickets to that, seriously. And if you want to know why, that's why you should listen to Righteous PK podcast this week. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday, which was not a lot of you, to be honest. No, I'm kidding. So that's
Twitter
it.
blew up on the birthday.
Yeah, that's right. I used it to raise money for Hope for Haiti. So thank you to everybody who gave generously to that. But nothing else. So thank you for listening, and God